Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. If you don't know me, my name is Alola and I am a shiny hunter on Twitch, and I've been collecting shinies for a long time now. I've been shiny hunting since back in the gold and silver days when they originally came out, but I've started my collection from the sapphire and ruby days from 2004 onwards, because gold and silver weren't backwards compatible, so the shinies that I did get in those games I did lose, unfortunately. But since the sapphire and ruby days I have been hunting and keeping all of my shinies, and we're very close to a complete living dex now. So I wanted to go through my living dex today, show you where we've got to, show you what we've got left to do, because it's so close, it's almost there. And if you like seeing shiny hunting, hopefully you'll be with me on my shiny hunting channel, Eevee Collector Alola, over on Twitch, where you can see me collect the last few shinies that we need, and hopefully we'll not long be before we say we have a full shiny living dex. So flicking through, you'll see that we do have some go shinies. I don't consider go shinies to be legitimate shinies, unless you cannot get it elsewhere. I do have a few go shinies in my decks where I don't have an alternative, but I will be slowly working through and getting rid of them. So this is a female Venusaur. I don't have a female shiny Venusaur because it has a gender difference, and it's obviously a 1 in 8 chance of getting a female. That will be replaced at some point. I will shiny hunt for that in the future, but at the moment we have a female go Venusaur, just a placeholder. It's better than an empty slot. But as you go through, you'll see a few gaps and a few stories. So looking forwards, we have obviously the gaps for the Ash Hat Pikachus, which cannot be shiny just yet. And then as we flick through, we've got a lot of our Kanto shinies in Let's Go, but we've also been shiny hunting for a long time, so some of these are very old. One of my oldest shinies is, where is it now? Here. There she is our shiny Ninetales. We got that in Fire Red Leaf Green. It was the first shiny we got in Fire Red Leaf Green, so that is one of our oldest shinies. It's not the oldest shiny, but when we pass it I will mention what our oldest shiny was. But we have all of the shinies up until Tauros, so we are missing 2 Tauros here. They are the Aqua and Blaze breed Tauroses, which we are currently shiny hunting for on Twitch. Once we have those, Kanto will be complete again. There are a few that are not ours, so like the Galarian, Articuno, Zapdos and Moltres. They are not ours, they are event. At the moment you cannot shiny hunt these yourself, so we have some event ones where we can't get an alternative. Moving on into Johto, we do have a shiny Mew. This shiny Mew is a legitimate Mew, however, the event that we got it in was not legitimate. I consider this a legitimate Mew purely because I shiny hunted for it legitimately in Emerald, but obviously I didn't get the event ticket myself. So make of that what you will. I think it's a legitimate shiny because I did the shiny hunting for it, but I'll let you make your decision with that. We have a couple more go shinies here, in particular Furret and Sentret. They will be in the DLC of Scarlet and Violet, so we'll be able to shiny hunt for those ones and replace them. And then moving on, we have all of the Johto shinies. You'll be surprised to see we have the entire line of unknowns. This was a summer I spent in high school, in the summer holidays, going through the Sinnoh ruins in Salation City in Gen 4, and we managed to get them over the course of a summer. That was a very tedious summer. But we have all of the unknown forms, and then we slowly have a few more go shinies that we need to replace. And then final shiny of note in Johto is our Virtual Console Crystal Celebi. We do have the shiny from a legitimate Virtual Console copy. I think it took us about 4,000 resets to get it, so we have a legitimate shiny Celebi. Moving on to Hoenn. So most of these shinies are ours. At the end of the video we'll put all of the stats on where we are, what shinies are considered ours, because I consider my shiny decks to be complete when they all have my OT. At the moment they don't, so we're going to work on that, but we are pretty much there, and 99% of these shinies are mine. So going through, we have all of the Gen 3 shinies, so there's very few holes here, and we even have the Deoxys forms, which we do get from Go, because that is really the only legitimate way of getting them at the moment. So we have Go shinies, but they all have my OT. But we've got a few shinies to replace in this box as well, like the Kyogre, the Regis, and the Beldum line. They will be replaced as soon as we get to hunting them. Moving on to Gen 4, and this is where the gaps start appearing. So we've been working on BDSP, and getting some of these shinies done. So with Legends Arceus and BDSP coming out, we did fill a lot of these gaps, but there are still a few gaps left to get. And notably, they are the Burmy and Wormadam line. I don't have a single shiny Burmy. I have a shiny Mothim from Legends Arceus, but I haven't managed to get any of the Burmy line yet, and I need 6 of them. So that'll be a hunt that we have to do at some point. But a lot of these were filled in from BDSP and from Legends Arceus. So moving on, we have all of these shinies. And then the next gap that we have is Manaphy, which obviously Manaphy is not something that I consider that you can shiny hunt at the moment. It's ridiculous the method you do to get a shiny Manaphy, but we do have a shiny Phione that we did breed for. And the final missing slot in this one is Victini, and Victini is currently not obtainable as a shiny. Moving on, and now the gaps are starting to appear more frequently. We're missing Watchog, we're missing both Pansage and Simisage, and a Simisear. I'm hoping the monkeys have an appearance in the DLC, but I'm not too hopeful. But hopefully we can fill those gaps in fairly soon. Blitzel is coming out in the DLC, so I'll be able to hunt that fairly soon. And then the next gaps that we have are Ducklet and Swanna. We don't have a shiny Ducklet or a shiny Swanna. Hopefully they will be showing up at some point because they haven't been around since Gen 5. Keep on going, keep on going. We've got some good shinies that have been filled in. So a lot of the dealings and sword blocks and all of those sort of shinies have been put in from Scarlet and Violet. So we filled in a lot of gaps here. These are Keldeo and Meloetta, which are currently not obtainable, and this is an event Japanese Genesect that I managed to obtain because it's the only way to obtain it at the moment. We're missing a shiny Delphox, so we'll be hunting for that shortly on Twitch now that the home compatibility is dropped. And then these two are shiny Vivians that are not currently obtainable. They are the Pokeball Vivian and the Fancy Vivian, I believe. Oh, we do have the Fancy Vivian now, so it's just the Pokeball Vivian that we will not be able to attain. And again, only this one is mine. The rest were traded for, but we are slowly going to overwrite these with our own shinies that we are obtaining through the postcards. So if you want to see that, check out our Twitch channel. We have Litleos. We're still working on the Flabebe line, which is all of these gaps here. And then this gap here is a load of Furfrou, which you can't currently turn into. If you have Furfrou in the main series game, this is a Furfrou from Sun and Moon. You can't evolve, you can't change their fur in the main series games. You can only do it in Go. So you can get a shiny Furfrou in Go and change its form, but it's very unlikely. So those are gaps at the moment. Finally, we're missing a Barbaracle. It's one I was shiny hunting for just before Scarlet and Violet dropped. We'll work on that one day. Finally, we've got Pumpkaboo and Gorgeist, which we need to work on, which is going to be a Halloween hunt in October. And then the last Gen 6 things are Hooper, Volcanion, and Diancie, which are currently not obtainable as shiny. Moving on to Gen 7, and we've got pretty full Gen 7 decks until we get to Minior. We don't have any shiny Miniors at the moment. Hopefully they'll drop in the DLC and we'll be able to hunt them. Cosmog and Cosmoem are here, and they currently don't have a shiny variant that is obtainable, so those gaps will remain for a little bit. And the last 3 slots here are Magearna and Marshadow, which are not currently obtainable as shiny, so those gaps will remain as well. Our Meltan and Melmetal do come from Go, but seeing as they are the only way to obtain the shinies at the moment, those will stick around for a little bit. Moving on to Gen 8, and we have most of our shinies, including authentic and phony Sinisties and Poltegeist. We managed to get an authentic Sinisty twice through the cemetery method, so we have an authentic and a phony Sinisty. They do show up differently, so you do have to get both. We also have most Alchemy, so half of these Alchemies have my OT and other half do not. We're working on that as well. In my opinion, you do need 63 shiny Alchemies, because even though the flavours don't look different in the shinies, because each flavour looks a different colour, but the shinies all look the same colour for some bizarre reason. When you go and look at what form that has, it does tell you the flavour of the spin that you did. So it is, in my opinion, important to keep that, because the data remembers which flavour it should be, even if it just looks shiny. So I believe that there should be 63. I think we have about 36, 37 at the moment. So we're still working on that. And in the DLC, Alchemy is coming back, so we will continue to hunt for the remaining Alchemy that we need. And then finally we got all of the fossils, we got all of the last sort of remaining shinies. The Zacian, Zamazenta and Eternatus are event shinies because currently they are not available as huntable, but now that Gen 9 is out, the previous gen's shiny locked shinies generally get opened up, so hopefully in the DLC there'll be some way to hunt for these, which will be great. Regieleki and Regidrago from the DLC are the only huntable Pokemon for the DLC, so these gaps are your Calyrexes, your Urshifus and Kubfus, that sort of thing, and your Zarude. Not shiny huntable at the moment, so those gaps will remain. And then we move on to the Hisuian Pokemon. We have all of the Hisuian Pokemon that can be shiny. The gaps are the 2 forms of Enamorus, which are currently shiny locked. Finally, moving on to Gen 9, we have all of the Gen 9 Pokemon. We've got a few missing. We're working on 3 Family Mousehold, which is the 1% evolution of Mousehold. And then we've got a few gaps that we're still working on. We're missing Dowshbun, we're missing a Grey Squawkabilly, and we're missing the Killer Wattrel and Wattrel. And then we're just missing a few odd shinies here and there, which we are currently shiny hunting for. So this is the priority at the moment, is to fill in these gaps for the Gen 9, because they're not difficult shinies, and they'll be filling up slowly. And then our one shiny that we do have that we don't have in the normal form is we do have a 3-segment Dunsparce. We do have a 3-segment Dunsparce where we don't have it in the normal form. So this is a 2-segment Dunsparce, and then this is a 3-segment Dunsparce. We did manage to get that with 19 evolutions. So we were quite lucky with the shiny 3-segment Dunsparce. Haven't been so lucky with the non-shiny one, but that is one shiny we do have. And then finally, we have all of the Paradox forms as shiny. We did have a video out where we showed off all of the catching of those shinies. So if you like that video, we'll pop it somewhere in the video just here. And then finally, we are missing a few extra shinies here. We're missing Frigibax and Arctibax, and the rest of the Pokemon that are here are shiny locked. So just Frigibax and Arctibax left to go on this page. We have another shiny Gimmighoul from the recent raid events, which we need to evolve, but we do have a second one to evolve to do that. So those are the shinies that we have. We'll flick through the shinies again, and I'll overlay some graphics to show how many Pokemon we have, how much more we've got to do on our living decks, and how many we have to change from Go to our own. So let's have a little flick through. So those are all of our shinies and how much more we've got to go. Thank you so much for watching this video all the way to the end. If you like looking at shinies and you like shiny hunting, please drop our Twitch channel a follow. We go live 3 times a week where we're shiny hunting for these missing Pokemon. And hopefully by the time we do our next video, we'll have a full shiny live index to share with you. Other than that, have a wonderful week, weekend, wherever you are, and we'll catch you in the next video. See you later. Bye.